Hi guys, welcome back. So we'll continue with our interview questions and answer part 3. Okay, so let's quickly start. So here is our first question. What are the best practices we should follow in Tosca automation? Okay, and there might be a slight change. Okay, um, the way interviewer may ask you, like either he will ask the straightforward, the best practices we should follow, or else he will little bit tweak the question like what are the best practices you have followed in your project. Okay, for both the answer will be same. Okay, so you have to as he will tweak the question, um, so you have to tweak your answer. Okay, so I will tell you few points. Okay, and based on that point you can explain those practices. Okay, and the same points whichever I'm going to tell you. Okay, so those points are already there in the um, Tricentis manual. Okay, the first one is naming convention. Okay, so we should have a proper naming convention of each and every steps we are using in our test case. Okay, so suppose if we are navigating to some opening some browser or launching some application, then we will generally we will use um, either start program or else we'll use open browser. Okay, so if we are taking that module, then we have to just give a proper name to that step, like we're launching like Flipkart application for example. Okay, so that what will happen if someone a new member coming in your team. Okay, so when he will see the steps, after reading the step name only, he will get to know, okay, we are launching the Flipkart application. But if you don't give, just give open browser, so no one will be knowing, right, after reading the step, like what which application we are launching. So like that we should have a proper naming convention, okay, to each and every step that we are going to use in the test case. Second one is no static weights. Okay, so we should not use the static weight. Okay, static weight in Tosca means T box weight. Okay, so what the disadvantage of using T box weight is like it will slow down your performance. Okay, the execution time. Okay, and if there are any objects, okay, which is loading, suppose we have given a wait time of 10 seconds, and if it is loading within 2 seconds, also it will wait for 10 seconds. Okay, which is not required, right? So we have to avoid using the static weights. Okay, third one is no mouse or keyboard methods. Okay, so why we should not use mouse or keyboard methods? Because when you done with your scripting, okay, and if you want to schedule your test cases through DEX, so when you run a script through DEX, that time you will face issue with the steps where you have used mouse or keyboard operations. Okay, that's why we should try um, not to use any mouse or keyboard methods. Okay, next is merge duplicate modules. Okay, so whenever we are working in team, okay, and we have um, multiple people, multiple automation tester working in the same project, so that time we might have a chances that we create a duplicate modules. Okay, so what we have to do is to, by end of the day, we have to, if we have any um, duplicate module, okay, so we have to merge it. Okay, creating a duplicate module is not a good practice. Okay, so when if we, if in case if we have duplicate modules, then we have to merge it, okay, and create a single module. And the next one is minimum loops, okay. Again, loops will increase the execution time, okay. So we have to try as much as possible to avoid loops, okay. If it is not required, so we should not use unnecessarily, okay. The next is proper test case work state, okay. So whenever we create a test case, you will see a work state column, okay. So there you will have um, in progress, okay, completed, okay. So like that we have his status, so we have to give a proper um, work state to the test cases. Whenever we work on any test case, we should make sure we are giving a proper work state, okay. So I have mentioned only 6 points here, but you will get more points when you go through the manual, okay. So you can go and you can check, and if possible, just whenever you face this question, you have to mention some 7 to 8 points, okay. So next question is, can you create a data-driven test case without using a test case design? If so, how? Okay. Normally, in Tosca, we create a data-driven test cases using um, test case design sheet with template concept. Okay. So if there is a scenario where we want to create a data-driven test without TCD, is it possible? So, okay. If so, how? Okay. Yes, we can create a data-driven case without TCD. Okay. The first one is using Excel file. Okay. So if we have data available in Excel file, and if we want to create a data driven for those data, okay, then we can use this Excel available Excel modules, okay. Making use of those modules, we can create a data driven test easily, okay. And uh, there is one video in my channel for the Excel sheet, okay, where we can use Tricentis provided sample um, sheet, okay. That video also you can refer, okay. Second is using TDS, okay. Yes, we can use a TDS to create a data driven test, okay. In the recent video in my channel, you can see I have shown how we can um, yeah, use TDS to create a data driven test case, okay. Third one is using database. Yeah, using database also we can create if we have data available in database. So you can just query the database, and based on that um, result, you can create a data driven test case, okay. So TDS Excel file, I already have a video in my channel, and if you guys want me to create a video on uh, this data driven test cases using database, just let me know, I will create that also. It's not that complex, okay. The next question is, write a TQL query to fetch all the test cases that is executed and passed yesterday, okay. So we have an execution list, and we want to fetch the list of test cases which we executed yesterday, and which was passed, okay. So how we can do it? So first, in the execution list, you can just search with the subparts with execution entry. So what it will do, it will list down all the test cases, okay, from that execution list. After that, you can go one more step, okay, inside with the actual log, okay. And once you write the actual log and select the execution test case log, it will show all the cases, okay, which is executed in that particular execution list. From there you can filter with the start time as well as the result. Okay, so we'll see how we can use this SQL query. So suppose this is my execution list. Okay, what I will do, I will just search with SQL query, and let me just search subparts. Once you give subparts, it will show execution list as well as execution entry. So just go inside, just select execution entry. Okay, sorry, execution entry. Okay, after execution entry, just give one alt enter, sorry, shift enter. So these are all my test cases. Okay, again actual log, select actual log. Once you select actual log, execution test case log. Okay, in that just select the columns, okay, which we want. Like we want start time and result. Okay, so here you have result, here you have start time. Okay, start time will come with timestamp. Okay, but we want to search with a particular date. Okay, yesterday, so there is no test case executed with yesterday's date. Okay, so we'll search with some um, first we will search with the result which was executed, and the result was, the test case was passed. So what we can do, open curly, open bracket, select result. Okay, and then equals passed. Okay, search. Okay, here I missed double quote. So two test cases were passed. Okay, so we are getting these two test cases in our search result. Okay, now we want to search for a particular dates, for example 23. Okay, for 23 I'm 23/11/2024. Okay, I will give here start time. Okay, then just see here. Now if I give 23/11/2024 and result passed. Okay, see here it is saying could not find any object. Okay, it is not finding any object with the start time with this particular date. Why? Because we have start time with date as well as with timestamp. Okay, so if we want to use only date, so then we can use a regular expression. Okay, so what we have to do here, we have to give a tilde sign. That means we are using a regular expression, and then if I just give, now you can see we are getting a one entry here in our result. Okay, so we searched from this execution list, just get me the list of the test cases which was executed on 23. Okay, and the result was passed. So we are getting one test case which was executed and it was passed. Okay, so some cases what will happen, now I don't have multiple cases, okay, but you, if you have execution list where you have multiple cases executed on particular date or any other date, okay, so if you want to search, just search with this. And in case if suppose I have this date, okay, and suppose for this 0311 2024 you are getting some other date as well, okay. Now I'm getting exact 23/11/2024, okay. So if you are getting some other for other dates, okay, so there is one workaround, okay. If you use this symbol, okay, so what it will do, this means starting with, okay, so it will fetch, it will give you the result with the date starting with this exact date, okay. It will not select other date, okay. So now we have only single data, okay, only one or two data, okay, which is totally different dates, okay. So that's why it is giving us a correct result. But if in case you will get um, um, not if you won't get a correct result, okay, after giving the correct date as well, if you are seeing some other date also in the entry, then use this symbol, okay, and then try. That's why you would have noticed here I have mentioned here this symbol here, okay. So you can use this symbol, okay, just try it. If you have a huge execution list, then you will understand um, the use of this symbol, okay. Hope this is clear, okay. There might be another way, okay, another way of writing the queries, but um, this I have broke down into steps so that for the beginners it will be easy to understand, okay. Once you are done with your basic TQL, then you can try with your advanced TQL where you can optimize this query and create in a single step, okay. We close it and continue with our um, next question, okay. We are done with this. Next one is count the repeated character from a string without using a number of occurrences function, okay. So in Tosca we have a number of occurrences string function where we can find the repeated character, okay, from the string. That is straightforward, but here there is a slight change in the question. We should not use a number of occurrences function, okay. Then how we can achieve this? The for two ways we can achieve this, okay. Actually there is three ways, okay. So I have mentioned two ways. Third ways also I will tell. The first one is using a string replace. So using string replace, what we will do, we will remove the other character, okay, other than the required which we want to count, okay. Then we can use the string length function to get the count. So let me show you how we can do that. Let me take one tbox set buffer. Tbox set buffer, okay, and take the text. I will copy this text, okay. So here we need to count the character A, how many times it has been repeated. So what I will do, I as mentioned in the um, PPT, we have to use string replace, okay. So take three parameters. I'll mention here buffer of text, and in the second braces I will use regular expression, okay. I will use regular expression, and see, this symbol I have used there, right? And there the meaning was different, and here just see the meaning. Here I I have used that symbol and a. That means accept, okay, accept a, delete all the characters appearing in the text buffer, okay, and replace with blank. Okay, now let's run this. And this, you would have seen the syntax in um, one of my video of removing the special character from the string. Okay, the same syntax. Just see here, buffer with text has been set to value this. Okay, after string replace, the value has been set to the character which we want to count. So it has removed all the character other than a, which I have mentioned here. After that, what we can do, okay, let me just give repeated, sorry, repeated character. Okay, now I can use count, and I can use string length, and I can pass here that buffer name, which is reptchar. So if I right click, sorry, let me run it because I changed the buffer name here. Showing could not be passed. Maybe some syntax mistake I did. Rept care. Okay, there is mistake. Now let me run once again. This case is passed. So we have total six. Yeah, total six times a has been repeated in the particular string. Okay, so this is how we can get the number of repeated character without using number of occurrences. Now, instead of using this in three steps, what we can do, we can remove that step, and here itself what we can do, just cut it and use string length, then just paste it, and just translate it. You will get the same answer. Okay, so this is how um, we have to optimize it. Now earlier we used in three steps, now we have uh, used in single step. Okay, okay, so first way we have seen. Second one is using repetition. So this will be a bit complex. Okay, like we have to take the first count, total count, then we have to use a repetition to check if we have to iterate uh, one character at a time. Okay, one by one we have to take the character either from right or from left, and then we have to check whether it is our expected character. Yes, if the condition is satisfied, then increase the counter. So like that we have to use. This will also give you the correct result, but this is a bit complex approach. That's why I kept it in after this first approach, which is very simple approach. And yeah, and third way was to use the calc function, that Excel function. That is also not a very straightforward um, approach. Okay, there also you have to use some logic. Okay, so better use the first approach which I told, which is very easy. Okay, next question is how to get the count of empty rows in a web table. So suppose we have one web table. So in that web table we have a data field available in few rows, and few rows are empty. Okay, so we have to get the count of empty rows. Okay, so what should be the approach? Let's see. So first get the total row count and store in buffer. Okay, for example, a buffer one. Next one is get the count of rows having the data and store in one buffer. For example, buffer two. And third step is perform buffer one minus buffer two. Okay, this is very easy, right? So suppose if we have a table where we have 10 rows. Okay, in that 10 rows we have data available in 5 rows. So what we will do, first we will take the total table row count, which will give us 10. Then we will take the count by putting some constraint, which will give you the count of rows which is having data, that means 5. So if we do 10 minus 5, so we'll get 5, which is empty rows, 5 empty rows. So we'll see that as well. So this is my table where I have a data available in 3 rows, and in the rest rows we don't have the data. Those are empty rows, so we have to count how many empty rows are there. So this is demo QA website. So for that I already have table is scanned. Okay, yeah, both are same only. Let me just drag and drop here, and let's me take the count here. Take row count, um, total rows. Okay, buffer it. Let's quickly run and check how many rows we are getting. So there are, it's saying page 1 of 10 rows. So we should get 11 rows now, because it will consider header, I think. Okay, okay, so we are getting 11. Okay, so what we will do here, let me copy and okay, paste here. I will remove this, and total rows. Okay, total rows. Total rows, what we will do, we will do 1 minus, okay, buffer of total rows minus 1, that then we will get 10. Okay, so we got total count. Now we want to count the rows in which we have data. So for that we will use um, result count. Okay, use a result count RC. Okay, buffer, and we'll put constraint here. Okay, put constraint. So we give me the count of rows for which we don't have for which we have the data available. Okay, so this will give us the count for the rows only where we have the data available. So we should get a count RCS 3, record count. So test case is passed. Let's check. So we are getting row 4. Okay, because including, it is including header. Okay, so let me just paste here and RC. Okay, and in the last step what we will do, we will get the empty row. Okay, empty row count. So for empty row count, what we have to do, we have to do total rows minus the total rows minus, I have to use here RC, Total rows minus the count for which we have a data available. So we'll do math of buffer of total rows minus the rows number of rows for which we have data available. Okay, let's quickly run and check. We should get a empty row count as a 7. Okay, so our test case is passed. Let's check the logs. Okay, so we got 10, total number of 10 rows, and the number of rows for which we have data available, which is 3. Okay, now 10 minus 3, 7. Okay, so you can count manually as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 empty rows. So we got total 7 empty rows. Okay, this is how you can take the count of empty rows. Okay, let's go to our next question. Okay, the next question is, what are the main elements of DEX? Okay, which is a distributed execution. So you might be aware about DEX. Uh, the DEX is basically used to distribute our execution to speed up our execution. Okay, so if we have around 1,000 2,000 cases, and if we have less time to execute, then we can make use of DEX. Okay, which will parallelly execute our test cases in different agent machine. Okay, so the main elements are user machine, Tosca deck server, and agent machine. So user machine. Okay, this is the machine where we you know, usually create our test cases and trigger the execution. And another one is Tosca deck server. This is the server which makes use of automation object service, which manages and distributed our test amongst the available agent machines. Okay, and the third one is agent machine. Okay, this agent machine is the machine where the actual execution will happen. Okay, and once the execution is completes, the results will be saved in the common repository. So we can have a multiple agent machine, 10 machines or 15 machines. Okay, like that, based on our requirement. Okay, and this is one of the um, most popular question, not this question, telling about the DEX. So if you go for interview, for sure you will get a question on DEX. Okay, the next one is how to take a screenshot during test failure. Okay, so we have a scenario like we want to take a screenshot of um, for failure steps. Okay, so yes, that is available. There is a setting. Okay, in Tosca we have to navigate to project setting, tbox, logging, and screenshots. I will show you. Go to settings. In the settings under tbox, we have logging. Okay, inside a screenshot. So um, i- for that screenshot folder, you will see these three options. Okay, so normally if you see in your setting, it will be off. So just select a verification failure and just give the folder path. Okay, where you want to share the screenshot, and the format, jpg or png, whatever format you want. Just select and just close it. And after that, what you just do one thing. Okay, so for example, I have, let me take um, Let me take one module for demo web shop. We have, okay, demo web shop. Okay, using register. Okay, yeah, demo web shop. Let me just open demo web shop here. I will show you one demo here. Demo web shop. Uh, we are using a register module. Okay, in the register module we have already captured. So what I will do for first name field. Okay, the first name field I'll put one verification. I'll put visible equals to false, but it is all visible is true, but I'm putting just for checking our setting whether it is working or not. I'm just I have kept visible equals to false and running the test case. So the test case should get fail because um, first name is visible, okay, and I have given it as false, so test case is failed. Let me just go to that folder, screenshot folder. You will see here the screenshot has been taken for the failed step where first name is visible but I have given as false, so it got failed and we got a screenshot for the failed cases. Okay, the next one is how to fetch the data from Excel sheet if the cell range is not known. Okay, so so there might be a scenario, okay, where you face this question. Okay, um, you interviewer may ask you like there is one um, value available in the sorry Excel, okay, but you don't know the range. Okay, then we have to check whether that particular text available exist in the Excel. Okay, so normally what we'll do, we'll use the range manipulation folder, right? A defined range where we define like A1 to Z100 like that. But if you don't know the range, in that case what we have to do, so if you open any Excel file, okay, you will see the range here. Okay, this is the last range. Okay, this total number of rows we have this range. Okay, and this is for the column XFD. So this is the maximum range. So you can use A1 to XFD in this value. Okay. So this is the maximum range we have. Under this range, whatever data we have, which will be it will be available. Okay. So most of the people will be knowing, and if you don't know, this way we can use. Okay, so if you get any question like this in the interview, so just remember this the range and just tell the range. Okay, the last question is how to handle the embedded control inside table cells. So normally if you see any web table where we will be having some buttons called edit or delete, that is called embedded controls in the table. Okay, so how we can handle that? Okay, so there are two ways we can handle it. Okay, so for that I will create a video soon. You will see a video on my channel. So for now you can just um, um, read this, okay, in a table. Whenever we'll scan a table, okay, just save it. After saving I will show you. um, Let me take any one module for um, table. Okay, okay, this is one table, sorry. See here, this table I have scanned. Okay, after that, just right click on cell. You will see here the list of embedded control. Create embedded button, checkbox, combo box, link like that. So you can create and you can provide the property technical ID parameters like tag and the inner text property. Okay, after that you can perform action on that. Okay, so I will create a video on that, so don't worry, I will show how we can handle the embedded control. Okay. Oh, thanks. Okay, that's all for this series, guys. So we will meet again um, with a new set of questions. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.